Opa. Good afternoon, Chairman Schultz and Vice Chairman Bukowski and members of the committee. My name is Mark Kowemy Jr., and I am the governor of the Pueblo of Laguna. The traditional name of Laguna people is Koweka, meaning lake people. I'm here today to discuss the S-4898, the Pueblos of Acoma and Laguna Water Rights Settlement Act of 2022. The lack of water in the Rio San Jose Basin is over 150 years in the making. Today, our basin is one of the driest in the state of New Mexico, if not the country. And without congressional action, things could only get worse. The Pueblo of Laguna's economy has historically relied heavily on subsistence-style farming and trade. We use water from the Rio San Jose to produce food, to feed our families, and to sell or trade for other necessary items. Our ancestors, in addition to being farmers, were master dam builders and water engineers. We designed and built vast systems of irrigation ditches and massive reservoirs before our first contact with the Spanish. We irrigated our lands using these systems until the United States began replacing them with concrete structures in the early 20th century. However, the federal government neglected to maintain or rebuild the system they imposed on us, and we could not maintain using our traditional methods and materials. The Laguna Reservoir built by our ancestors stood the test of centuries. Yet, you visit our Pueblo today, you will not see that reservoir next to the village of Laguna, the principal village of the 6 villages in our community. Nor will you see the new Laguna Reservoir built by the U.S. to replace it because it filled in with sediment. The dam breached decades ago. It was never replaced by our trustee. During this time, junior upstream users increasingly accessed the water source that fed our river. Upstream diversions in the mainstream Rio San Jose began in the late 19th century. In the 20th century, junior users began tapping groundwater in ever-increasing amounts. The flow of the Rio San Jose has dropped over 90% from pre-developed levels at the point where it reaches the Pueblo. Without enough water from the Rio San Jose to grow enough crops, Pueblo members were forced to purchase food instead of growing it. Despite these devastating losses, we did not stop maintaining and irrigating from our traditional dishes. We did not stop our traditional ceremonies. We still use the meager amount of water remaining to grow what we can and follow our traditional practices, even though it's not nearly enough to provide for our people. This water rights settlement will recognize the Pueblo's senior water rights and to protect what little flow is left in Rio San Jose. S-4898 is the product of over 40 years of litigation and 8 years of negotiations. Despite our request, the U.S. did not file a lawsuit against major junior groundwater users on our behalf in federal district court until 1982. Some of those users immediately filed a state lawsuit to start the general stream adjudication and defer resolution of the federal claims. The adjudication has crawled along since then. In early 2014, the Pueblos and the state of the U.S. and the state of New Mexico and other major stakeholders decided to look for negotiated resolution for the Rio San Jose Basin. Our negotiations resulted in the settlement agreement that forms the basis of legislation before you. The Pueblo appreciates the state and our neighbors in the valley for settling aside differences in the interest of more water secure future for everyone in the valley. The Pueblos needs this water rights settlement, but we believe that shutting down our neighbors would not solve the problem. Our approach is to find alternative source of water supply for the Pueblos. In keeping our tradition as water engineers, we are not asking the federal government to build a project for us. In our fund-based settlement, we take on the management and responsibility of water infrastructure planning, permitting, development, operations, and maintenance. We, along with the Bureau of Reclamation, studied the potential water resource and water infrastructure costs in detail. Our study shows that finding, developing, and conveying replacement water to our Pueblo is not cheap. But in exchange for meaningful funding to secure and develop water, the Pueblos agreed to make no priority calls against non-Indian users under existing water rights and not impair other users on development and use of groundwater by the Pueblos on Pueblo lands. We believe this is the best resolution for our Pueblo and the communities in Rio San Jose. Passage of 4898 is necessary to secure the future of the Pueblo of Laguna. We believe that this settlement provides the best opportunity for Pueblo to determine its future because it empowers us to secure and develop the appropriate water sources for our community. Thank you for your opportunity to testify. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.